Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the Titan 54D, a Tier 8 premium Blitz Nation medium tank. An incredibly unique vehicle due to the fact that it actually has dynamic armor. From the press of a button, this vehicle's upper plate becomes a pike nose like the IS-3. The armor on the rear of the turret now swooshes into the front, giving you a much better mantlet. It's actually a really cool design. I personally really hope Wargaming messes with a future line and they make a tech tree line that goes from maybe tier 6 to 10 that features this very special armor mechanic. I think it would be absolutely epic. But in today's video, we are stuck with the tier 8, and in today's video, I'll be showcasing why it's a pretty fun tank and just having a bit of fun in it. So obviously this is based off the T-54 lightweight. I mean, we can very easily see the influence off of that vehicle into this tank. The differences are armor. This is not a light. This is a medium, and it's not a very fast medium, only going at a top speed of 45. But as I said, that's because it's actually got really strong armor. Its upper plate is 90 millimeters thick, but that's without adding on that extra 20 millimeters of spaced armor. You should also add on to the fact that the spaced armor has an ability that can take away 10% of all damage received. It's kind of like a intermediate reactive armor, where reactive takes away 20% of all damage received, but the downside of reactive is that high explosive shells will still deal full damage. With this, high explosive will not. So that means if you have a Hesh firing tank or anything that's nasty with high explosive, you don't have to worry about being penned nearly as hard as you would be. But it is only 10%. So instead of taking, let's say, 960 from an ISU, you'll take 860 or something around there. So it'll still hurt, to be fair. It's just not going to hurt as much. Now, when it comes to the gun on the Titan 54D, it's actually quite nice. It features 310 damage per shot, which is beefy for what is a tier 8 medium. It also features absolutely incredible on movement dispersion. A lot better than you would think. Like, the base dispersion and overall aiming time are pretty mediocre and average at best, but look at this gun's on move. I mean, that is crazy good. The vehicle is very accurate on the move, which is weird. So because of that, it actually makes the aiming time quite impressive. Now, what we can see is that our team is going up towards D, which is not always my favorite, just because of the fact that they might have something in B. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this tank does feature actually like 6 or 7 degrees over the side, and over the front it only features like 5, so that is a rather interesting tidbit I thought I would share about this vehicle. So we can see the IS-5 off to the side, we got the Panther 88 over here. Let's go for the Panther 88 real quick, and we can see that it has plenty of gun depression on the side. Unfortunately, we weren't really able to get all too much damage into that guy, as he's dead already. But we've got the T-34. Actually, that's not a T-34. That is a big bonking T-30. But wow, that guy got big bonked. He is already very low. Alright, well, let's reload. Let's aim it on that T-30. You can see when you turn the tank to the side, you do have gun depression. Actually, quite nice gun depression at that. Which means that all you need to do is turn it to the side a bit, and you should be completely fine when it comes to getting bounces or anything of that nature. So, well, I actually turned it the wrong way there. But I'm a little bit more worried about the Centurion RAAC. We got the 54. Bonk. There you go. Nice 304 damage shot. We're getting some damage out. We've only done about 900, but it's getting there. Let's see. Our AMX has decided to play a little bit aggressive, but that's fine, because we got an ammo rack onto the enemy T-54. Well, I'll take that. Thank you very much. The Chimera gets a massive bonking into the Centurion, and we were able to track him in place. All right. Well, just like that, our pretty mediocre game has turned out to be a pretty solid game, where we've dealt a lot of damage. Alright, well, let's head over to the 53 TP. You can see that fantastic on-movement dispersion being displayed here. And what's funny is we haven't actually had to use our armor ability yet. I mean, I'll use it so you can watch it. It's pretty cool. When you press it, you can see the armor comes to the front, and it makes it a lot harder to pen. This is activated for a decent chunk of time as well. It's honestly a really cool mechanic. I honestly, as I said, really hope that Wargaming puts more vehicles like this into the game. All we got left is our ISU, who bonked the Centurion and then managed to ram him for the kill. Alright, well, you know what? Pretty solid game. Can't complain. this is actually a really underrated tank in my eyes. Wargaming doesn't sell it all too much because it's kind of a niche tank that not many people think all too much about. But I can tell you for a fact that it's fun. We actually aced it that game, which is pretty not impressive, I would say. We didn't really do all too much. We just kind of shot people in front of us, got a lucky 800 damage ammo rack, but yeah, I mean, it was a pretty easy game nonetheless. Let's do one more battle and see if the Titan 54D can do just as well. I wouldn't say I'll probably get 3k out, but I can imagine a pretty solid game. Battle number 2. This time we have a T-25 Pilot 1, a T-28, Skoda T-56, Cheeto SPG, M6A2E1, a T-23E3, and a Tiger 1. So, medium-wise, they don't have the strongest lineup. The Pilot 1 is not a super deadly tank, but to be fair, does feature a solid turret and decent DPM. The Pilot 1 has always been considered a pretty bad premium, but to be honest, I'm not really sure why. It's not a bad tank, it's just nothing that I will ever pull out for fun. The T-23E3, that's a pretty bad tank. I mean, it's got DPM, but it has absolutely no armor, which is something that you want, especially when you're fighting up against Tier 8. So, we'll see what we can do. You'll notice that even though the Titan 54D does feature a pretty lackluster power to weight, it's not the worst. I mean, it's not a fast tank, but it does get up to speed, and once it gets there, it usually chills, so it's not too bad. Alright, well, we are at base A at this point. I do have a feeling that at least some tanks are going to go over here. I don't think the entire enemy team is, but you can never be too surprised. We have our entire team in spawn. It actually looks like our entire team might just be AFK, but there's not much I can do about that. What we can do is get a very, very nice and free shot into the enemy T-23E3. This player is going to give me another free shell. There you go. And, not exactly sure what he's doing, to be completely honest, but oh well, that's sounds like a him problem. We got a nice bounce, let's get a nice pen, and my T-20 was able to finish him off. Okay, well that's a free 900 damage. We can see that the enemy at this point is capturing base C, which is, I'm not really sure what they're doing. I'm a little cautious. Let's see if I get spotted for that. If I do, I know they've got TDs, and yes, they do. Alright, well, they have a T-28 and a Cheeto SPG. So what I'm going to do... Ooh, interesting. Alright, well, let's put on that special mechanic this vehicle has. That way, if they do have a tank in this bush over here, there you go. Nice, we got a bounce. Alright, look at that. Right into the hatch of the Cheeto SPG while on the move. Now we're just going to drive towards his tank, just like this, and a bonk. There you go. You can see where that alpha and very nice accuracy again on the move makes this tank actually really enjoyable. Like, when I first got this tank, I remember that I didn't enjoy it. Well, I didn't really play it, so I didn't really know too much about it. But Fatness and I ended up doing a stream together, messing around with it, and we both agreed that this tank is way better than what we expected it to be. I mean, the armor is quite solid. It's nothing crazy. I mean, you will get penned, as you can see, but the armor is very, very solid for, again, a medium with this type of gun. And it's got plenty of DPM, as you can see, easily finishing off that enemy Pilot 1. In 8 more seconds, we're going to get our special mechanic back, so let's go low. And there's the enemy T-28. Nice bounce. That heat shell did not go where I wanted it to, but that's fine. We're just going to make our way over here very, very cautiously. Interestingly enough, that T-28 is just kind of giving me a free shot. Alright, let's put on that special mechanic, although it looks like that player's not even shooting me. Alright, well, let's just get behind the T-28. We're already up to 2,700 damage, so it looks like we actually are going to get a very, very solid game out. Got the rear of the T-28, which we got one nice shell into. I'm going to ignore the T-28 because of the fact that that's not a very scary tank. The Skoda is a scary tank. Oh, well, it looks like I actually can't pen the rear of the Skoda if we take a look at that armor. So I'm going to be rather smart, and instead of shooting the Skoda, I'm going to shoot the enemy T-28. Can't HE the Skoda anywhere, but that's fine. We'll get a nice 342 slap, just like that. We're up to 3,700 damage this game, and in a couple more seconds, we're going to get another shell out. A bonk! There you go. The enemy, our Sturmill is able to get a big ol' slap into the Skoda. Just like that, we did 4,000 damage coming out with a second victory. And this should also be an ace. As you can see, the Skoda is bumped by this vehicle, just like everybody else in the enemy team. And It's just such a good tank. It really is. I don't know why I wanted to make a video on it today. I kind of saw it sitting in my garage, and I legitimately have not played the tank since the live stream. I only have 34 games in it, but I have a 95% win rate for those 34 games, and I'm sitting at 2,800 average damage. It's just a great vehicle. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys think about the T-54 Titan, but let me know. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.